I'm very pleased this morning to welcome Senator, the Honorable Ambassador Audrey Marks to the Cabinet as Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for efficiency, innovation, and digital transformation. I know you have already received a warm welcome in the Senate. Minister Marks will be focusing on two areas of critical importance to the country. The first area that I'm tasking Minister Marks with is the reform of government bureaucracy. This responsibility will entail cultivating a government bureaucracy that is agile. Agility and bureaucracy don't always go together, but I'm sure Audrey will find a way. That is growth-oriented and innovation-driven, one that actively enables entrepreneurship, fosters innovation, and accelerates the implementation of major projects as a critical catalyst for our national pivot to growth. There is no doubt that the stringent fiscal policies we implemented to control excessive government spending have been a success. No question about that. They have reduced public debt, restored macroeconomic stability, and strengthened accountability. However, the very layers of controls, checks, and balances that helped us rein in wasteful spending have now created a new challenge, one that slows down essential approvals, delays critical infrastructure projects, and stifles economic growth. Minister Marks will have responsibility, and I want you to listen to this one carefully, streamlining processes for efficiency and economic development. What's that acronym? SPEED. Streamlining processes for efficiency and economic development, not to be confused with Doge. And appoint an advisory team of public sector stakeholders as she undertakes a comprehensive review of Jamaica's governance arrangements, systems, and processes, and implement targeted reforms that will eliminate inefficiencies, reduce bureaucratic delays, and enhance the ease, or rather the speed, of doing business. So, Minister Marks, your first duty is to get the speed committee in place. I hate to have a committee for speed. But because the subject is so complex and there are many strings that you will have to be pulling, it's always good to have an advisory task force. So let me not use the term committee. It's an advisory task force. Yes, an advisory speed force. I like that one. Yes, so you will appoint the advisory speed force. Now, for the average Jamaican listening, the experience with bureaucracy is probably primarily expressed in the frustration at our tax offices. It's the experience in trying to call a government entity and not getting a response on the telephone. It's the customer service at public offices. It's the tremendous paperwork that you are required to go through. It is the giving of information over and over and over again. It is these small frustrating things which cost you. I was speaking to someone recently who pointed out that they submitted a plan for renovation to their home. They're doing an expansion, and they were submitting a plan to one of the parish councils. And just one letter was left off, a description of an item. And it was sent back for it to be reprinted. Now, those of you who understand the cost of reprinting plans. And so this is how we, the average public, experience bureaucracy. And sometimes you can't blame the person who is charged with enforcing the rules of the bureaucracy. They are just doing their job. And they are not paid to exercise discretion or to show initiative or to be entrepreneurial. They are punished for that. So when we say we're establishing, it's not a new ministry, but it will certainly have a new focus within the office of the Prime Minister. This is something that is critical to relieve the pressure points, the pain points on citizens, but to also increase the pace of growth. It is also a signal that the government is listening, that the government cares enough to restructure its own bureaucracy, its own operations, its own business processes, to make life easier for the average citizen. The truth is that bureaucracies become very self-indulgent. They are there to preserve and expand themselves. That's the truth. And unless governments review bureaucracy, they grow large and unwieldy. And this is not new to Jamaica. This is the experience right across the world. I was watching the BBC recently, and Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced some significant review to their National Health Service. So it should not be looked upon as, government attempt to pass blame or for some political purpose. No, it is absolutely important that government continually reviews the public bureaucracy, because by nature it is there to serve itself, and governments have to ensure that the bureaucracy serves the people. That's the reality. So this government, we have appointed a minister to ensure that the bureaucracy is serving the people. That's the short of the appointment. So, bureaucracy is also a part of the cost of living. So when we talk about what are we going to do to ease the cost of living, it's not just managing prices to ensure that we have a stable inflationary environment, but it is also treating with some of the issues which cause you to spend unnecessarily. And that's what speed is designed to do. But there's another element of speed, and that is to ensure that critical national projects don't end up dying on the altar of the bureaucracy, which has happened so many times. Projects that could transform Jamaica, when it gets tied up in all kinds of processes, and every part of the bureaucracy wants a part of it, whether it is investigation, accounting, review, all kinds of nonsense, while the people suffer. We have to change that. The people elect us to change that. And I'm saying to the people of Jamaica, we're going to change that. Projects that can transform Jamaica, projects that are in our national interest, these projects must be moved with expedition.